Hey up everyone, hope we're all doing well. Jamahal Hill this last weekend got his arse handed to him as he was pissed on for 5 rounds by Khalil Roundtree, and it left me asking the question, why did Jamahal Hill fall off? Because I actually think it's an interesting conversation, because I don't think it's just one thing like it usually is with many fighters. I think it could be a variety of things, and in this video we're going to go through it and see what those things could be. So you know what, I'm going to stop fucking about and show you his resume. So here we have it, the record of Jamahal Hill: 12 wins, 4 losses, 34 years of age. And we're going to go through his record right now. Now we're not going to go from the very start because it doesn't really play into what we're talking about, but we are going to go to when he lost to Paul Craig, his first ever loss. Lost to Paul Craig, whatever. Paul Craig known for being the boogeyman. Well, he's not really, but he's got some nice wins like, you know, Magomed Ankalaev and obviously Jamahal Hill. Well, he also, after this, he wanted to bounce back and he beat Jimmy Crute when I think he was an underdog. Yes, a slight underdog, but Jimmy Crute at that time, nothing crazy. I mean, he's nothing crazy right now, but he was already coming off a loss to Anthony Smith in the very first round or second round. I can't remember how it played out. It's when his leg went all funny. After this, he beat Johnny Walker. He was a favorite in this one, a moderate favorite. You know, Johnny Walker, nothing great really, but he did what he had to do. Got rid of him in the very first round. Excellent stuff. So he started to get some momentum going. And then, I don't remember this fight for the life of me, so I am sorry that I can't give much on it. But Thiago Santos, he got the finish in the 4th round, but if I remember correctly, this was quite competitive, and he was a moderate favorite, quite a big favorite in my opinion, but he was quite competitive against Thiago Santos, who at this point, he really was washed. He was never anything crazy. He had a nice little momentum, Thiago Santos, but after his injuries and loss to John Jones, he never got it going again. You know, he was coming off losses, I think, to Magomed Ankalaev and Glover Teixeira, and then he also lost to Jamahal Hill, so nothing crazy, but he still beat another person. And then he got that great victory over Glover Teixeira, which did look really good on short notice. Beat the piss out of Glover Teixeira for 5 rounds, who the year before went life and death with Yuri Prochazka and was doing really well against Yuri Prochazka. Well, Jamahal Hill made light work of him, and a lot of people like myself thought, oh, Jamahal Hill's actually quite good. He beat the piss out of Glover, stuffed takedowns, landed some very good, showed off some good boxing. But then the Alex Pereira fight happened, but in between that, something very important happened. What happened was, he tore his Achilles, or ruptured his Achilles. Now, if you've just watched his performance against Khalil Roundtree, you watched his performance against Yuri Prochazka, and you watched his performance against Alex Pereira, what is one thing that he literally had? It was non-existent. Footwork. Footwork was non-existent, and I'll tell you another thing what was non-existent. Kicks. Well, actually, no, in the first round against Khalil, he was throwing a lot of leg kicks. But other than leg kicks, he wasn't throwing anything. The footwork's heavily been affected by this, and Hill was never known for having great footwork, by the way. But I do feel like it has played a part in this downfall. This is one of the parts that I do think has played a massive downfall, because ever since he's had that rupture on his Achilles, he's only lost. Now, you have also got to factor in that the level of competition that he's fought since then has gotten a lot better, or should I say, the more in the prime, because Khalil Roundtree can be a bit hit and miss. But also it plays a part. Was he just beating up old people? Did we think he was somewhat decent because he was just beating up old people? I'm not saying you all thought that, by the way, but there was a lot of people, including myself, who thought, yeah, Jamahal Hill's quite good, especially after beating the piss out of Glover, you know, but Glover's not someone you could beat up, and then if your footwork's bad, Glover's going to be fast enough to punish you for having bad footwork, whereas someone like Alex Pereira, Yuri Prochazka, and Khalil Roundtree are capable of doing that. If you're trying to be, if you can't be in and out, well, you're going to be punished for that by the likes of Alex Pereira, Yuri Prochazka, and Khalil Roundtree, and that's exactly what happened. So, what is it? Is it because of the ruptured Achilles? Is it because the competition he was facing, it was a bit, I mean, again, Jimmy Crute, nothing crazy. Johnny Walker, everyone's chinned that poor fucker. Thiago Santos was like, I don't know how old he was at this point, late 30s. He was coming off some injuries as well after the Jones fight, and he was also on some bad momentum, losing to Ankalaev and Glover Teixeira, and it was quite competitive, may I add. And then he just beat the piss out of Glover, who was like, what, 43 at the time? So you look at these wins and you think, you know, right. Even the OSP one, quite old. All of his big wins are against older people. You know? He hasn't got like a win where it's like if you beat Yuri, but like, oh, Yuri's actually still not completely washed or anything. But these fighters, you could make an argument that all of them are washed. You know? So it's just like, oh, is it the fighters? I think it's just a fucking clusterfuck of it all. I think it all plays into it. I think rupturing his Achilles has fucked him when it comes to his confidence and footwork. Again, it's never been the best, but I felt like he did move a bit more, whereas now it just feels like he's just standing still. Like he's just downgraded so much after the injury, in my opinion. Like I feel like a pre-ruptured Achilles Hill would have maybe lasted longer against Pereira. I don't know for sure though. Maybe he wouldn't have got finished by Yuri, and I think he still would have got chewed up by Khalil, but it wouldn't have been as bad. I feel like Hill would have offered a lot more, you know? But like, I'd have to watch some more fights back of him from the back in there. But for me, I don't know what it is. But what do you guys think of all this? What do you think it is with Jamahal Hill, which just caused him to crash down? Because he's still got confidence. Not like where you see it with other fighters where they haven't really got confidence. You can see how he talks and how he bigs himself up. He still believes that he's the shit. But as fighters aren't displaying that. Maybe he's coming back, he's fighting too often after his injuries. You know, I think he was kind of rushing back for 300 as well, if I remember correctly. I don't know if he was fully like prepared for 300. Like, I think the UFC were like, fuck, we need a main event. Here, have some money. I'm not making excuses for them, by the way. I think the outcome still would have been the same. Alex Pereira probably first round KO, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I do think context is necessary, and I do think that could be definitely a thing what played a part. You know, then he took on Yuri, and yes, some time had been in case for that one. But then shortly after, he was meant to fight in April, fights in June against Khalil Roundtree. He didn't have much time to prepare from the losses, from the loss of Yuri. He took a lot of damage in that fight, and he didn't have much time to really, you know, evaluate, see where he went wrong. And I was saying when the Khalil Roundtree fight was happening, and he was just getting fucking battered, I was saying there's no plan B with Jamahal Hill. There's no plan B, it's just plan A. I'm going to try box you. If you don't fall into my game, well, then I'm probably going to lose. You know what I mean? He was just getting absolutely outclassed by Khalil Roundtree, and I did think Khalil was going to win. But, man, he fucking got dominated badly. I thought it might be at least a bit competitive. But other than the first round, it wasn't really competitive whatsoever. So, again, why is it? I think it's an accumulation of everything. I think we ruptured Achilles. I think the opposition not being the best who we beat on the come up. And I just think, yeah, maybe he's just not that good. I think it all plays a part. I don't think you can just point at one thing and say it's exactly that. I don't think you can say, oh, it's just a ruptured Achilles. I don't think you can just say, oh, it's just because the level of opposition on the come up. I don't think you can just say, oh, he just looks bad now. I don't know what he did. Well, he does look bad now. I'm just baffled and puzzled by what's gone on with Jamahal Hill. And can he pull it back? Who knows? I don't think so. I really don't think so. But, I mean, Dominic Reyes is currently on a nice little bounce back. So maybe Jamahal Hill can get it going. But if he is going to get it bouncing back, maybe get some new coaches. Because the coaches said to him it was a close fight going into the fifth. Not what you want to hear. He needs to work on a lot of things. He needs to have some time off, let himself rest, learn a few things, and come back. Because I actually do like Jamahal Hill, and I want to see him succeed. But if he carries on like this, I feel like he will get cut, or I don't know. I don't see him being in the game for that much longer if he's getting battered like he did against Khalil Roundtree. What do you guys think of Jamahal Hill? What did you think of his performance? What do you think it boils down to? Do you agree with me? I think it's an accumulation of things. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.